Here's something to think about. Would you ever buy a property without knowing how you get water, electricity, or even internet? Utilities might not be the sexiest topic, but they're one of the most important factors to consider before buying land. In our last video, we talked about road access, making sure you can physically and legally reach your property. Now, let's dive into utilities because without them, even the best piece of land might not meet your needs. But before we jump in, I'd love to hear in the comments about your experiences with setting up utilities. Was it smooth sailing or a total headache? Leave a tip you learned in the comment. Your stories could really help someone else who's wanting to buy land in Texas. Okay, so let's go over why utilities matter. Utilities are a big deal when you're buying land, and here's why. First, they're essential for building and living on the property. Things like water, electricity, and waste disposal aren't options if you want a livable space. Without them, you're looking at major workarounds that can be expensive and time-consuming. They also have a big impact on your budget. If the land doesn't have the utilities in place or isn't close to public road access, connecting them can cost thousands depending on what's needed and how far your property is from any of the main lines. And don't forget about resale value. A property with established utilities is much easier to sell and generally worth more because future buyers want convenience just like you. Now that you know why utilities matter, let's move on to how to check for utilities and if they are available on the property you are interested in. The first step is contacting local provider. They'll let you know if water, electricity, or internet connections are available and give you an idea of hookup fees and monthly costs. If your property is in a rural area and doesn't have public water or sewer, you'll need to look into a well or septic system. The county health department can help you figure out what's allowed in certain areas and how much it might cost. For properties without traditional utility options, alternatives like solar panels, rainwater collections, or satellite internet could help your solution. These are great options for remote areas, but they do come with their own costs and challenges. One of them is maintaining them. It's also a good idea to talk to the neighbors nearby. They can share their experiences in the area and give you a heads up about the providers in the area and what to expect with utility costs and how much it is for them. And if all of this feels overwhelming, you can always reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below, and I'm always happy to help. Now that we've covered how to check for the utilities on the particular property, let's cover some of the common mistakes people make when it comes to the utilities. The biggest one is assuming they're available. Just because the nearby properties have utilities doesn't mean yours will. Always verify with the provider in the area to help make better decisions. Another mistake is understanding the cost of getting utilities connected. Depending on the factors like distance from any main lines or terrain the utility providers will have to work with, you could be looking at anything from a few $100s to tens of thousands of dollars. So once you narrow down the area you want to buy in and you've called the local providers, make sure you factor this into your budgeting plan before visiting any property. This will save you a ton of time. And if the property already has a well or septic system, never skip the inspection. Inspections will also need to be a part of your budgeting plan as well. If you're viewing multiple properties, repairs or replacements can be costly and you'll want to know what you're dealing with up front. Sounds like a negotiating point to me. But real quick, if you came across a septic inspection that failed, how would you handle this with the seller? Leave a comment below and help your fellow viewers out. And finally, and this is full disclosure, I have not come across anything like this personally or professionally, but I do know and have heard about it. And this video is about helping you and providing value to you. So if you're going off grid, understand that systems like solar power and composting toilets require ongoing maintenance. They're great solutions, but they do take time, planning, and work. So again, utilities might not be the first thing you think about when buying land, but they're one of the most important factors for livability and value. So be sure to take the time to research what's available when it comes to utilities so that you can save thousands and make a smarter investment. I'm Trent Babb, your Central Texas real estate agent. If you have any questions about utilities or buying land in Texas, and if you've run into challenges like connecting them, drop a comment below. These stories and tips help other viewers like you, and I'd love to hear your story. They also help me come up with more land buying video topics. So in the next video, we're going to dive into property topography and elevation, two features that can significantly impact your building plans and costs. So don't miss it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. That's all for this video. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one.